Hello, everyone. I did a Title IX self-audit on the University of Missouri athletic program. So just a brief overview of Title IX. Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 is a federal statute that was signed into law by President Nixon. It was stated that no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subject to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Since all educational institutions receive some form of federal financial support, whether it be direct or indirectly, all institutions have to comply with requirements of Title IX. It wasn't until 1975 where President Ford signed the final Title IX regulations law directly affecting athletic programs. In 1979, Title IX policy interpretation brought about defined requirements for Title IX compliance in athletics, including the three-prong test. So what is the Title IX three-prong test? It's a test used to analyze compliance with the Title IX requirement that schools provide effective accommodations of athletics interests and abilities. In 1996, the Office of Civil Rights issued a guidance document to clarify. However, this document kind of provided more confusion along the requirements of Title IX, leading to multiple Title IX litigations. So more about the three-prong test. There's three different components in the test. The first one is substantial proportionality, and this means that the ratios of male athletic participation and female athletic participation must be substantially proportional to the ratios of male enrollment and female enrollment within an institution. The second component is history and continuing practice. That means that the school must show a continuing practice in the very recent past of expanding its women's sports offerings and opportunities. The third component is full and effective accommodation, which means that the school must show that the athletics interests and athletics abilities of the institution's female enrollment have been fully and effectively accommodated. So the prong that I'm going to talk a little bit more about and do a self-audit on is the first prong, which is the substantial proportionality. So just a little kind of background of this prong is who is a participant in or who is classified as a participant in this prong. So someone that has normal support, regular activity in the sport, could be they need to be on the roster, or they could be injured and on scholarship. So there are athletes who participate in multiple sports within an institution. As a general rule, all athletes who are listed on a team's roster are counted for each team due to the team being a different participation opportunity. So the kind of background of the University of Missouri Athletics, I took the rosters from the men's and women's teams from 2016 to 2017. The university offers a total of 20 sports between the men's and women's teams. So here you can see the men's athletic rosters for the 9 sports that are offered to the men, and the women's rosters for the 11 sports that are offered to women. So an overview of those sports. Overall, there are 500 athletes that participate in athletics at Mizzou. 60% of those athletes are men, making up 300 of the 500 total athletes, and 40% of those athletes are women, making up 200 of the 500 athletes that participated in the 2016-2017 school year. So enrollment and participation. At the University of Missouri, there are 13,256 men enrolled in the school, and there's 14,356 females enrolled in the university. So 48% are male and 52% are female, totaling 100% or 27,812 students, undergraduates that are enrolled at the University of Missouri. So like I had said earlier, the athletic participation, there's 500 total athletes for the 2016-2017 academic year, 300 of those being male and 200 of those being female. So what I did to find the proportionality, the equation below, if you allow X to be the number of female athletes in the program when there is an exact proportion as the presence in the student body while keeping male numbers consistent. So X is the variable. So what I did is I took the 48% of the men enrolled times X, which is the variable, equal to the 300 men in athletics times the 52% of women enrolled. So that equation looks like 48 times X equals 15,600. So I took X divided by that 48 and it equals the 15,600 divided by 48. That variable X gives you 325. So 325 female athletes are required for exact proportionality at the University of Missouri. So currently there's only 200 female athletes participating in athletics. 125 additional female opportunities would need to be met or offered to reach exact proportionality. However, the Office of Civil Rights does not require exact proportionality. It's only calculated as a step to determine substantial proportionality. So education institutions only have to be compliant, remember, with one prong of the three-prong test. So I just did the first prong of substantial proportionality, but the University of Missouri could find themselves compliant under the other two prongs, whether it be the history and continuing practice prong or the full and effective accommodation prong. The importance of conducting a self-audit like the one that I just conducted, due to the increased incidences of Title IX compliance and lawsuits, it's really important for an institution to ensure that they have a thorough understanding of the Title IX regulatory framework. It's very important as an institution to organize and create a gender equality committee that oversees the institution's Title IX compliance and can also provide recommendations. This committee could also develop policies for expenditures and commitments that ensures that a non-discriminatory future for the institution. A self-audit also allows for an institution to look at the institution's entire athletic program and determine if it accommodates the interests and abilities of the students as a whole, and if specific program components detailed in the Title IX regulations are equal for men and women. The three-prong test allows for institutions to determine whether their institution provides adequate athletic opportunities for female students. So that three-prong test was a test that you could do when completing a self-audit for an institution. There's lots of resources for conducting a self-audit. So the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association, NIAAA, Leadership Training Course 506 and its manual, the Office of Civil Rights Policy, Interpretations, and Application, and also the Title IX and Interscholastic Athletics, How It All Works, by Valerie Bonnet, and that's online at TitleXSpecialist.com. It's really important as an athletic administrator to always be wondering if the institution in which you are part of is compliant and remains compliant within Title IX. It's kind of always a question in your mind of like, how are we compliant with Title IX? Are we compliant with Title IX? Because audits can be done at any point throughout an athletic season, just not at the beginning or the end, but it can be done throughout any season by Title IX. So it's really important to constantly be analyzing the athletic program and just making sure that the institution is compliant with Title IX and is providing equal opportunities for all. Here are my resources and my references that I use to conduct this self-audit. Thank you very much.